Shrinnantu Vishve Amritasya Putraham Aye Dhamani Divyani Tastuhu Vedametam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastan Tameva Viditto Timetumeti Naina Panta Viddati Anaya Naina Panta Yanaya Viddati. Listen, O children of immortal bliss. Listen, those who live in the celestial abode. I have seen that effulgent one who is beyond darkness. Knowing him alone, one can transcend death. There is no other way. There is no other way. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. Peace, peace, peace be told. This morning our subject is reincarnation. Today is Easter Sunday, a very auspicious day in Christendom. It is the holiest of all holidays. As we know, Christ was crucified on Friday and he resurrected on Sunday. He kept his promise. This resurrection proved that death is not the end of human life. The immortality of the soul is the vital question in human life. In Christianity, virgin birth and reincarnation, these two things are extremely important. Resurrection. Christ rose from dead. Without resurrection, Jesus would still be a great teacher, but there would be no Christianity. I remember in 1970s, there was a newspaper in St. Louis named Globe Democrat. The reporter interviewed some prominent religious leaders, Christian leaders in this city, and put this question: if Christ's bones are found, will you be able to hold your faith? Some people say no. Christ's resurrection is extremely important. Some people think that he arose physically. Some people think spiritually. It was St. Paul wrote a letter to Corinthians. I can read that letter to you a little, perhaps you will enjoy. Some men will say, how are the dead raised up? And with what body do they come? Thou fool, that which thou sawest is not quickened, except it die. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of man, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. There are also celestial bodies, and bodies terrestrial. But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption, it is raised in incorruption. It is sown in natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body. It is evident from St. Paul's word, he did not think that resurrection actually this physical body rising from the dead. It is the spiritual body. Very interesting. Spiritual body. What is a spiritual body? Sri Ramakrishna died. His body was cremated at the Kashipur cremation ground. These disciples collected his bones and ashes and put in a copper urn. It was evening. According to the Hindu custom, when the husband dies, the wife becomes a widow. She must shave her head. She must put on white cloth, not sari. And she must remove all her jewelries. So when the disciples came, taking those ashes into Kashipur garden house, Holy Mother was in her room. And she was trying to remove her bangles, bracelets from her hand. Sri Ramakrishna appeared before her and held her hand and said, "Am I dead? I have just gone from one room to the other. Do not remove that bangles." You see, according to the Vaishnava Tantra, if your husband is God, you are goddess. The God does not die, so the wife never becomes a widow. Sri Ramakrishna resurrected. I remember I was editing a book. It is mentioned in the Vaishnava literature that when Krishna was shot by an arrow by a hunter, he took his regular physical body and went to heaven. That is the belief of the Vaishnavas. But the Swami said, no, he gave up his body and left the body and went to heaven. So when I said this thing, the Swami told me, are you a rational person or irrational? I said, I'm a rational person. Then he said, look, God can take any number of bodies in any form of body at any time. Why would Krishna will have to carry this Guru's body to heaven? Spiritual body. Very interesting, we think that what kind of body. Swami Satprakashananda mentioned, it is not just the body that makes you living or dead. It is your inner consciousness. If you are carnally minded, even though your body is alive, you are actually dead. As long as you identify yourself with this physical body, you are constantly subject to the round of birth, growth, decay, and death. You are already dead from the highest spiritual standpoint. But by being carnally minded, we create our own bondage and death. Do you know what this means? It means where your mind, there you are. If you are thinks about the body, your consciousness is connected to the body. Where is your connection of your consciousness? That determines birth and death. I remember when I talk about reincarnation, it reminds me of an actor in Hollywood. At that time I used to play badminton. So Byron Webster, a Hollywood actor, used to come and play badminton with me. So it was Saturday. I said, Byron, I cannot play today. Why, Swami? I said, I will have to prepare my lecture. What is the topic? Reincarnation. Swami, you don't need any preparation. I said, why? Just see my car. My Toyota car, it ran freeway 101. Then it became old. It was smashed, sent back to Japan, and it was recycled, and again came as a Toyota, and again ran freeway 101. Again it was smashed. In this way, my same Toyota ran through freeway 101 many times. This recycling. This example is enough to understand reincarnation. I was smiling. He was so funny. Reincarnation. Reincarnation is a very controversial subject. Some people believe in it, but some people do not. But truth does not depend upon anybody's belief or disbelief. Truth is truth. The theory of reincarnation and the doctrine of karma are the two important, deep and significant metaphysical theories in Vedanta. This theory found its way through several channels into the Western world. This question arises in human minds again and again. Who am I? Where do I come from? What is this world? Where I live in? Where shall I go after death? What is the purpose of human life? What is the goal? These are the questions arise time to time in our minds. I remember some years ago I was invited in the Lady of the Snow in Illinois, other side of the river. 300 Catholics, senior Catholics, they wanted to know afterlife. What happens? There are 4 representatives: Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism. I think one Buddhist was also there. 5 religions, their views about afterlife. They wanted to know. So I presented my case. I told you, no, let me tell you, my time is only 15 minutes. You know what happens after life, but I shall bring you back after 15 minutes in this hall. Then there was a controversial question whether animals have any life or not, animals have any soul or not. Very interesting. So the word reincarnation has been derived from the Latin adjective carnal or bodily, and the form incarnate means to get or form a body. The prefix re means again. So the whole meaning is the act of being embodied again. I was searching in Google. Now, nearly 50% Americans believe in reincarnation. 50%. And the Christians and other people. And this morning I was watching the Washington Post. They say, now last year, 60% Americans were cremated. You see, their view is you will have to bury. Then the final days, the resurrection will come, all these things. 60% Americans are cremated in 2022. The society is changing. Some people think that cremation is very hygienic, it is better. But do you know what? To cremate one person, it needs to bury one person, it needs $20,000. You have to buy the land, coffin. I did some work in California, Forest Lawn Mortuary and other mortuary. I was invited to do many of these kinds of memorial work. But very interesting news, one of our devotees in Holland, he says that you will be buried only for 12 years. After that, that place will be sold to another person. So you have not a permanent place even under the ground, you see. But this thing, this reincarnation, is a very rational approach toward life. I remember some years ago, Shirley MacLaine, a Hollywood actress, started to talk openly about reincarnation. But I believe in reincarnation. If Shirley MacLaine says, people will accept. If Swami says, oh, what shall Swami know? And that I was telling him, even Oprah Winfrey says anything, millions of people will accept. That is the way it goes. The worldwide acceptance of the doctrine of reincarnation is due to its reasonableness. This doctrine is a common factor in Hinduism and Buddhism, who believe that rebirth of a man is inevitable until and unless he gets liberation. But the belief in reincarnation is not only confined in Hinduism and Buddhism, but we find clear evidences in Greek thought, in Zoroastrian scriptures, in the teachings of the Essenes, of the Hebrews, and of the early fathers of the Christian church, and also of Sufi mystics and poets. It is in other religions also, but it is not practiced, because it became a dogma, I shall tell you. The words of Jesus corroborate the doctrine of rebirth, referring to John the Baptist. He says, and if he will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. St. Augustine believed it. But when Gregory the Great became the Pope, do you know what happened? It was the Second Council of Constantinople in 553 AD, issued a proclamation. Whoever shall support the mythical doctrine of the pre-existences of the soul and the consequent wonderful opinion of its return, let him be anathema. It was voted, and it was rejected by the church 2-1. Two people supported, one people went against that view. It was in Christianity, but later on it was removed. Before we discuss in details, let us examine the views of the religious schools of Hebrew, Christianity, and Islam. Very interesting that how they view about this reincarnation. According to those religious schools of thinking, the human soul is created entity, but is eternal and infinite to the end. In other words, Christians, Muslims, or Jewish theology tells us the soul was created by God, and after death it will survive to infinity. Each soul is created. It has a beginning, but it is eternal, infinite. That is their view. Then it will come, you have only one chance, one birth theory. Logically, this theory is not tenable. In order to be infinite, an entity has to be infinite in both ends. It is taken to finite one end and infinite the other. It amounts saying that it is not infinite at all. Let me tell you a little bit about Sankhya philosophy. There is a view of Sankhya that Purusha, consciousness, is infinite. Prakriti, nature, is also infinite. Vedanta says it is illogical. There cannot be two infinites. One will limit the other. Infinite is only one. So Vedantic view is Brahman is infinite, but Maya is not infinite. It is finite. Do you know what will be the problem? I shall talk to it about it later. That if Maya is infinite, do you know what will happen? There will be no liberation. All will be caught in the meshes of Maya. So Vedantic view is there are 6 things are without beginning. Jiva, individual soul. Isha, God. Vishuddha Chit, pure consciousness, Brahman. Difference between the division between God and the jivas and Maya and its connection with Brahman. These things are without beginning. But it doesn't end. Then Sankhya philosophers came. John got liberation. But Jack, if Atman, Brahman is one, then if John gets liberated, then Jack, James, everybody should get liberation. No. Atman, Brahman is one, but Jivatma, individual souls are many. John's I consciousness, Jack's I consciousness, Chetanananda's I consciousness, this I consciousness, these individual souls, Jivatma, are many. So when John gets liberation, Jack will not get liberation. That is the view of Vedanta. Atman consciousness is one. Let me give an example. You can visualize. Here are 4 billion cups of water. And here is the sun. What do you see? All reflected suns. 4 billion reflected suns. In one is broken, others are there. Human beings are the sparks of that infinite Brahman. It is a reflection that we will see. We are all reflected gods. That is our true nature. But we forgot it because of Maya, ignorance. Hindu theory of reincarnation establishes the theory that the soul is eternal and infinite at both ends. It was never created by a god or any other being. It is ever existing, and the fact of its appearing as imperfect is only as illusion, Maya. So first theory is, please remember, according to Christian, Jewish, and Islamic tradition, they say God created a soul. And that soul, due to his karma in this world, he will get one chance. Either he will go to heaven or hell. That's it. Listen. According to these religions, life here has no cause in former life. Hence, they cannot explain variety, inequality, and differences in life. Why are some people born with certain privileges, aptitudes, and surroundings, and make their lives smoother and happier than others who others are born in suffering, having natural defects or deformities, personal or environmental, has no hope or opportunity. This question arose in Vedanta. Vaishamya nirghinya suti sapekshatvat tatacha darshayati, which is in the Brahma Sutra. Vaishamya nirghinya. Vaishamya means inequality. Nirghinya means cruelty. Human beings will ask question to God. Why so much inequality? This person is happy, coming from a rich family, healthy, good, and I am born blind or born lame and I am deformed. Why? What kind of God is this? He created this person and me too. No answer. They cannot answer. Why? You are rich, happy, healthy, and I am unhappy, I am sad, I am... Why? Here comes Vedanta, the law of karma, the doctrine of karma. The Hindu philosophy, with the help of theory of karma and reincarnation, explains these differences more logically and satisfactorily. In whatever form or under whatever environment we find ourselves here, it is the result of our past karma, or what we have been and what we have sown in our previous states or existence. The aphorism I told you, and let me give an example, you will understand better. You are a farmer, I am a farmer. You till the ground, I did not. The sun was on your field, on my field. The rain came, it is on your field, my field. During the harvest, you got the crop, I did not. The all-merciful God gave the rain, gave the sun, but you got the harvest crop, I didn't. It is, who is responsible? That is the question. Me. I'm a lazy farmer. I did not till the ground. Cruelty. God is cruel. As I said, that I am sad, I am deformed, I am blind. All due to my karma. It is in the Yoga Sutra. Suti mule tad vipako jati ayu bhoga. Because of your previous karma, that determines where you will be born, how long you will live, your longevity, and how much happiness and misery you will encounter in that life. It all depends upon your own karma. Do not blame anybody. Take the responsibility of your own shoulder. That is the point of, that is the that is the view of Vedanta. According to non-Hindu schools, man only gets one chance here on earth to gain the end of life, whatever it may be. If he fails in this one, he is eternally damned. Whereas, according to the Hindu theory, man gets innumerable chances until he works out his goal. His credits won in any of these incarnations are never lost, which is more encouraging, consoling, and just according to all standards of reason, equity, or justice. That is the view of the Christians. One birth theory. There is no reincarnation. Only one chance. If you can make it, fine. If not, if you make it, if you do it, if you do right, just moral, ethical, spiritual life, you will go to heaven. If you do lead a bad life, you will go to heaven, hell. Clear. One chance. I was thinking, a child starts to walk. Do you remember how many times you fell? And your mom grabbed you? Walk again. Walk, my child. Walk, walk. Hundreds of times we fell on the floor. And our moms grabbed us and taught us how to walk. If you fall once and stay there forever, no way. You must get innumerable chances. You know, this one birth theory doesn't. It will give you more examples, it will give previous samskaras how it works. I was reading the last part of the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna was asking, "Oh Krishna, here is a person who started his spiritual journey. He is a yogi. But due to his bad karma, whatever it may be, he is fallen. He has moral lapses, or he did something wrong, or he could not make it. We call it yoga bhrashto, fallen yogi. Does that person get scattered like a scattered cloud? What happens to that person? He started his spiritual journey but could not make it." There Krishna gave beautiful answer. Nahi koshchit na kalyana krit koshchit durgatim tato gacchati. That is the word. Na koshchit kalyana krit durgatim tato gacchati. Mani kalyana krit, a doer of good will never encounter anything bad in his life. Nothing is lost. Then he said, this kind of person, yoga-bhrashta, do you know where they go? Shuchinam srimatam gehe yoga-bhrashta vijayate. Atava yoginam upakule bhavati. Either this person, the yoga-bhrashta, fallen yogi, either he will be born in a very well-to-do, rich family, very good, rich family. And do you know why? At that time he will see all enjoyments, money, everything, but he is not interested. He has a born renunciation. He has renunciation from his very birth. Maya. Like Buddha. He had everything, but did not accept anything. So he gets tremendous renunciation from all these worldly things and just starts his journey again toward God. Atava Shuchinam Srimatam Gehe. Shuchinam Srimatam Gehe. Atava Yoginam Kule. He finds out a very spiritual parents. So from the very beginning he can start his spiritual life. So these are the two ways a fallen yogi are born. You know, these things make sense. Nothing is lost. We are all making journey. Sometimes I give another illustration. You want to go to Kedarnath or Badrinath. In the Himalayas, sometimes Charai, Uttarai, ups and down, ups and down. When you are going down, that is also the part of your road, of your journey. When you are going up, it is the part of your path, and again going down, that is the part of your path. Up and down, in this way, we reach our destination, Kedarnath, Badrinath. This is the way it works. In spiritual life, sometimes some people think all the time we shall get high. It doesn't work that way. According to those theological schools, The conception of God as a benign, impartial, just, loving, good principle of being cannot be logically sustained. What reason there is for God if He created us irrespective of previous karma, to do with so many difference in ability, opportunity and environment? This could not be any justification for an all-loving, just God to have created us so, unless He is arbitrary, autocratic, partial, unjust and cruel. Krishna says, Na datte kasyachit, I am not responsible. I only give the result of action. Karma phalo data. I am a giver of the result of action. You are my children, you work. You are doing very good, you will get good result. If you are not doing, you go very good, you will get this result. I only give the result of karma. But you are the doer. Man is the architect of his own fate. So anyhow, this is the way they explain the view of the other schools and the Vedantic schools, how we think about reincarnation. But not all Hindu schools believe in God, in Eastern religions. Buddha did not believe in God, but they believe in law of karma and reincarnation. So, the Shankar doesn't believe in God. Why? Ishvaro asiddhi prajana bhavat. This is Shankar Sutra. There is no need for a God. Why? My prakriti, my nature will create. I do not need a God to create. How does prakriti can create? Prakriti is matter. Matter has no desire. This chair has no desire. This chair cannot create. Then Shankar will tell you, the Purusha and Prakriti, this Purusha, due to the vicinity of the Purusha, consciousness, this Prakriti vibrates. And the three gunas evolve and creation begins. That is their view of creation. And they believe in many souls, many atmas. The mathematical theory of relativity indirectly speaks of the existence of one absolute. Something can be understood, measured from various relative standpoints. Here is John. He is a son of his mother, husband to his wife, brother to his sister, father to his daughter. Same John is a son, husband, father, brother. Variety. So this is the way you can view. Vedanta has no quarrel with modern science. Now let us see this, discuss the common charges against reincarnation. First is, if we had previous lives, why then do we not remember our past? This is the question. If it is we have past lives, why don't you remember? You do not remember your childhood days. Even if you do not remember what did you eat yesterday. And you are thinking about past life. But in the Mahabharata we find Jagishabha remembered 10 incarnations. Somebody asked Swami Vivekananda, do you remember your past? Of course I do. But I shall not tell you. In the Yoga Sutra, there is an aphorism. Aprigraha stajye janma kathanta sambodha. When a man becomes steadfast in his abstention from greed, he gains knowledge of his past, present, and the future existences. Do you know, let me explain to you what it means. Atoshkaj, the magnifying glass. Here is a paper, and you put the magnifying glass and the sun rays, and you focus it, one pointed. It will burn that paper. With childhood days, we used to play that thing. It will burn. Why? You concentrated sunlight, burn it. But ordinary, if you put it in ordinary sun, your paper will not be burned. So yogi's mind becomes that kind of focus. But if you have greed for enjoyment, for money, for this, that, most of the people, that greed and the body consciousness, we think about the body too much. Body, body, body. I had to go to the doctor also. So body, 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 and the greed, money, this, that. So do you know what happened? Your mind is scattered with all these things. But when you have no greed and you have no body consciousness, then mind becomes like with that focusing focus. And when it focuses, then he sees in the mind. He can see his past, present, and future. This is the way the yogis explain that how they know their past, present, and future. Which is very interesting. You know, when I was reading the commentary of this aphorism, it makes sense. Mind is the instrument through that you can understand, you can see many things. According to the Vedantic theory, reincarnation, sometimes people, there is another objection. Theory of evolution, reincarnation. We are continually going man and man and man. According to the Hindu Purana, there are after 8,400,000 births, a person becomes a human being. Will you believe it? They say in a mineral kingdom, 20,000. In vegetable kingdom, 9,000. In fish, reptile, 9,000. In the birds, 10,000. In the animal kingdom, 30,000. In this way, it goes on and on, then you take a human birth. Let me tell you one thing. My teacher taught me in the Vedanta class, here is a circle. And you start your journey here, 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 here. Each person will complete that circle. It will take many, many, many millions of years to complete the circle. Do you know what that means? In every stage you have the experience. When all experiences are accomplished, you have no more desire. You will merge into Brahman. Who brings you back to this world? That is the question. Desire. If you have no desire, you will not come to this world. It is the desire which determines our birth. It explains. Desire. Karmashaya. The question goes, when we die, what goes with us? Vidya karma purva prajna. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, the knowledge which you have gathered in this life, that will go with you. Karma, good and bad, whatever you have done in this life, that will go with you. purva prajna, your previous life's impressions, samskaras, that will go with you. These three things will go with you. That is called karmasaya. Karmasaya means the siege of the body, that the subtle body, that reincarnates. We know gross body, where does it go? It goes to crematorium, it becomes ashes. But the subtle body is the siege, that reincarnates. According to Vedanta, the subtle body consists of 17 limbs, 5 organs of knowledge, 5 organs of action, 5 pranas, mind and intellect. These 17 limbs constitute the subtle body. The subtle body is the seed which reincarnates again and again until it gets liberation. But this subtle body is this dried, fried. I give an example. You put peanut under the ground, raw peanut, it will sprout. But if you roast the peanut and put in the ground, it will not germinate. Why? Because you destroy its potentiality. So if your mind is fried with renunciation, means desireless, you will never come back. That is the way it goes. Sometimes, another question, in Chandogya Upanishad it says that Shukrajoniva, Ashwajoniva, this soul can go to the animal realm, again goes to the human plane. Do you know what? Let me give an example. Sometimes going back is not bad. Well, what do you mean, Swami? Here is a tunnel, and you came on the edge. You cannot jump. What do? Perhaps you have seen those who do pole jump or in the high jump. I have seen in Olympics, they go back, and from there they started to run. With a tremendous speed, they go perhaps 35 feet, 40 feet, long jump. They go quite a bit back, but they have tremendous speed. With that speed, they cross the tunnel. That is the way the soul sometimes works. Sometimes in war, retreat is not always bad. That is the way the German people lost in the war. They entered into Russia and they moved back, went to Stalingrad, now St. Petersburg. Then winter came, they cut the supply line, German army collapsed. German was thinking that we are occupying the whole of Russia. They lost. Sometimes going back is not always bad, you always remember. But we should not. And if you believe one-birth theory, then do you know what will happen? You cannot explain these things. Here is a man, murderer, killed many people. But he was not caught. Where his karma will go, he will never be punished. But he will go to heaven. Law of karma does not go that way. Another thing we believe in the law of karma is this reincarnation, fear. Everybody is afraid of death. Fear. Law of karma. Here is a child, prodigy. She knows piano from the childhood. She can play. In previous life's karma, experience are in this child. That experience helps. We see many child prodigy. But we do not see it. Our teacher gave a beautiful illustration. Here is a hand. You take the rose, squeeze it, throw it away. The fragrance is there. So this human soul, this human mind, this subtle body has all these impressions, good, bad, everything are there. Sometimes we see, here is a man, he has 5 sons. One son is a robber, one son is a doctor, one son is an engineer, one son is a monk. Same father, 4 sons, 4 tendencies. It is all law of karma. As a calf finds his mother among the thousands of cows, so does the deed previously done follow after the doer. Karma follows that person. I shall not enter that section that how a soul goes. There is a Devojana, the path of God. Those who do the virtuous deeds, they go to Brahmaloka. They are many years, they live like heaven. There, if they do not want to come back, they merge into Brahman. That is one path. Another path, Pitrijana, or the northern path. In this path, they go to moon. From the moon, they go to the cloud. From the cloud, rain. From rain, food. From food to man's body, as semen. From man's body, it enters into the female body, an embryo. Thus, after 5 oblations, a soul is reborn. It is in the Chandogya Upanishad. They explain how is a soul reborn. I shall not enter there, it is a big subject. How does it work? So, one kind of soul in this very life, Jivan Mukti, they are liberated. Second, Krama Mukti, gradual liberation. They go to Brahmaloka through virtuous deeds. Third, Pitrijana, they are recycled again and again because they have desires. They come and go, birth and death, birth and death. In this way, they evolve. And finally, Yashamrisha, there are some, they are born and die like bed bugs and all the bugs. I remember I got a scolding from a Swami in Benares. I said, Maharaj, do you think that if a person dies in Benares, will be liberated? Then he said, we old people are waiting here to die and you are a young man, you have come here to confuse us. He scolded us, he only scolded me. It was in 1970. I told Maharaj, I just wanted to know. The scripture says, without the knowledge, there cannot be liberation. But you say, if I die in Benares, I will get liberation. Then many people will think, let us go there and commit suicide. Go to Benares and commit suicide. Then you will go to Shiva. Anyhow. If you really want to know more about the immortality of the soul, how it works, please read the 2nd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita and Katha Upanishad. There Krishna clearly mentioned that how this immortality of the soul, this Atman does not die. It is the body dies. You may be Mr. Universe, Miss Universe, he will die. No body is permanent in this world. Well, we cannot see many things, we cannot see it. We cannot see many things. There is a hole in the hair, you do not see it. There is so many microbes are moving in this room, we do not see it. Try to imagine that nobody dies. What will happen? In St. Louis, already many hospitals will come more. Nobody dies. All are old. Recycling is very good. We had a devotee named Mekunj. Swami, she was 94 years old. I am too old, I need a new body, Swami. And her death was very important, very interesting. She, after breakfast, the nurses put her on the chair. Bas, gone. So what did you learn from this reincarnation, theory of reincarnation? We have many chances. We must evolve spiritually. We must go to our goal so that we will not have to come again and again. How can we transcend this birth and death, this recycling business? Only by giving up desires. Nivrittistu mahaphala, says in the Manu Sanghita. Somebody asked Holy Mother, Holy Mother told the devotee, do you know what to pray? Nirbhasana. Lord, make me desireless. So, reincarnation is very important in spiritual growth so that we have chance after chance. This life, if I cannot make it, next life I shall make it. In this way we shall move forward. Swakarma phalo nirdishtam yam yonim brajamyaham tasyam rishikesha tvai bhakti dirastu me. O Lord of the universe, may my devotion to Thee remain firm, whatever bodies I may obtain according to the fruits of my work. Let me attain You in my life. Thou art my mother, father, friend, comrade, knowledge, wealth. Thou art my all in all, O Lord. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.